Hi, and welcome to a Friday evening live card making tutorial. I'm Shelley Godby. And so this evening, what I have for you is an elegant gold and white card. Actually, it's a sample from the 24-25 Stampin' Up! Catalog that I was just itching to make. It is so pretty. And so we'll be using the Inspirational Sketches stamp set. So let me first introduce myself. I'm Shelley Godby, and for 24 years, I've been teaching you how to create hand-stamped smiles through my YouTube videos, my Stamping Smiles blog, and my mailing list. So I'm so glad you're here. And how about we have a closer look at the Inspirational Sketches stamp set. And this is, like I said, this is from the annual catalog. And just absolutely beautiful. My mom loves birds, so the bird is what caught my attention first. And I've made a card with the mushrooms, and this evening we'll be using. This looks like a daisy. I don't know if these are all daisies or not, but this is what we'll be using. And so I'm excited about that. And oh, we've got some folks checking in. We've got Miss Roxanne and Miss Adelaide and Miss Bonnie B. Well, thank you. And thank you for joining me on Valentine's Day. I thought maybe everybody would be out with their honey. And I thought, well, I'm in the mood, and I thought I'm going to go hang out with you all. And Miss Debbie, well, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is that Inspirational Sketches stamp set. Isn't that pretty? I mean, a lot of focus right now is on the, deservedly, right, the new January through April mini catalog and the online exclusives. But I thought, oh, Miss Danette, hello. For a casual Friday, this card, like I said, I've been itching to use it because it uses, I don't know if you've seen the sample or not, but I'll make it come alive. Aren't these gorgeous? The brushed gold cards and envelopes. I just love a beautiful envelope. You know, speaking of envelopes, our Stampin' Up! Basic white envelopes, wow, they're just classy. They are classy from the word go. Oh, and then I think I found these too. Did I not? There we go. And you get 20 for that. And look at that gold foiling on there. This is beautiful. And so there and on the flap, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we will be using those this evening with the Inspirational Sketches stamp set. All right. So we have some stamping to do first. So let me invite you, if you haven't yet, please like and share my video. And of course, come and say hello. Let us know you're here. Just the nicest group of ladies ever. And we just enjoy being with each other. Oh, Miss Debbie, she loves it. Oh, yeah. Beautiful stamp set. And you have not used this yet either. Oh, the stamp set, Miss Lois? The stamp set? Very pretty. This card you're really going to like. And it's a perfect casual Friday because it's so easy to do. But before I do some die cutting, because I have some die cutting, I need to do some stamping, a little bit of stamping, and I might as well do all the stamping at one time. So we'll start with the Inspirational Sketches. And what I have here is some basic white cardstock. And whenever you're stamping on white cardstock, you absolutely want to use the Stampin' Up! Basic white cardstock because it has a smooth, tight finish to give you a crisp, clean image. And we're going to do a lot of gold to go with this gold brushed gold cards and envelopes. So what I have here is my Embossing Editions toolkit, and every piece is very important. The embossing buddy, well, this is going to help the powder to stick only to the stamped image and not any oil in my hands. All right, and so you rub that over it. And then this tray will catch the embossing powder. And I've got the gold here from the Wow Metallic Embossing folder. Oh, and Miss Donna. Yeah, yes, happy Valentine's Day. I'm so glad you all are joining me. Helps me feel not maybe as lonely. My sweetie's not here anymore. And it's all good. Like, I'm going to go hang out with my peeps. And so like I told you, we're going to use the beautiful flower. And so what this is the Versamark pad. And it's a pigment ink, and it stays wet longer than a die. Oh, and you have the cards and envelopes. Well, if you haven't noticed this card in the 24-25 catalog, after watching this, we'll put both of those to use for you, Miss Lois. And so, and a pigment ink stays wet longer, which is really ideal for embossing. And so this is a cling stamp set. So the labels cling like no one's business to a clear mount block, and I have a clear mount block D, and so comfortable to hang on to because you've got a groove in here and everything is rounded and polished. If you haven't used our envelopes, I mean, I'm sorry, well, the envelopes for sure, but our clear mount blocks, that's something you really want to do. All right, so let's go ahead and sprinkle on some of this powder. And if you've been following me for any length of time, you know this is why I'm a stamper. It was when she put the powder on and it stuck. It went, oh, she says, that's not the good part. Well, she had me at the embossing powder sticking. Okay, so I will be done with this, and that's what this funnel is for, and the brush that comes with it. And so I will just funnel it all through and brush it right back into here, so we're not, it makes it go a long, long time. Okay, so let me set that aside. And I'm going to use the heat tool to melt the embossing powder. Now, this gets really intense. My handyman was here yesterday, and we needed to really dry something and quickly. And he said a hair dryer. I said, oh no, I've got something better. And this heat tool, it is very intense heat, hotter than your hair dryer for sure. And this tip, see the plastic over this? Didn't used to be that way. It used to be exposed. And so when I upgraded to the new one, my husband, I gave him the old one because he used it all the time in his tool shop because some intense heat is a very handy thing to have. All right. Miss Debbie, I'm going to get that stamp set. All right. Well, you'll want to get it for sure. Okay. And so maybe my favorite part, because I have had fingers that are just a little bit too toasty from a heat tool, are these tweezers. And these tweezers are extra special for a couple reasons. One, you squeeze and then hang, and then it grasps, right? So I don't have to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze this whole time. Oh, Miss Renee. And the other thing, because I was telling you how hot it gets, because when you have your fingers here, you're like, ouch. Well, it's nice and strong with the metal, but the tip is plastic so that heat doesn't radiate up. Just absolutely brilliant. And so the heat tool, what a fantastic tool this is. I had one just from our local store, and then I went to a fellow Stampin' Up! Demonstrator's house, and I was brand new demonstrator, and she had the Stampin' Up! Heat tool, and I just couldn't believe how fast it did. I came home and I told my husband, I said, what in the world? I said, it's just the same thing. He said, oh no. He was an engineer. And wow, was he right. All right, so, and this has two settings. The first one is to dry the ink. And, because sometimes you want to use a pigment ink and you want to move on. And then the second one is the higher heat. And we're just going to hold it on here until we see it go from powdery to shiny. It's melting that embossing powder. And so if you're just joining us, please give my video a thumbs up and a share. That just will make my heart so happy. Did you see that? Yeah, look at that. You can see it going from powdery to shiny. It just always makes my heart stop a little bit. It's like, oh, that's so pretty. And there we go. And so, a lot of people, I mean, I guess that's okay, but there's no need. I just keep it until I see everything turn shiny. All right. And then, because I've done it plenty of times, you don't get everything. So I turn it in the light. And if I see anything that's still powdery, you can go back and finish it. I've even found it the next day and finished it. It was sticking to that embossing powder. So I was in really good shape. So there we go. And so that the Embossing Editions toolkit, that's a great thing to pick up. And I'm going to show you several things that'll be great to pick up while it's Celebration. The Celebration, well, it ends in 2 weeks from tonight. It is over. The last day is Friday, February 28th. Yeah, Miss Bonnie, yep, it doesn't. The heat embossing never does get tiresome. Oh, look at that. I mean, are you not just loving this, all this gold? All right. So the sample in the catalog, I looked at the supplies and they use pecan pie. I thought, oh, no, no, no. We're using wild wheat because when just stamped, it looks like gold. And I wanted to keep everything gold. I mean, the pecan pie, maybe a little bit of contrast, but oh my goodness, this is just amazing. I pointed this out Christmas, not this year, but the Christmas before. And someone shared that with me, one of my sweet stampers, and I tried it like, oh my goodness. So we're going to use wild wheat. But you know what? This is one of the 23, 25 in colors, and we'll be retiring. You know, that list is going to come out, I think, March 25th. And you know the in colors will be on there. So right now is the time to start stocking up. If you have the ink pad, make sure you have the refill, get your cardstock, stamping blends, everything that you want. And if you haven't started, because you know the in colors are one of the first things to sell out because it's something we all know that's happening, and it could happen even before the retiring list comes out. Okay, so I got the wild wheat, so we'll pick this up, slide that in, and I'm using Grateful for You, and that is part of the Inspirational Sketches stamp set. Okay, all right, so we'll ink this up. You know, whenever possible, I like to stamp after I die cut. But this time, I tried it and I just wasn't so accurate, so I really need to stamp first so I can center it around it. All right, so we are done with that. And this is a clear block H. So let's do this. Okay, so I'm going to be using two different sets of dies, and one of them, aren't these beautiful? This is the Thoughtful Wishes dies. We'll use this one. And then I have the Stylish Shapes, and I'll be using two of these. Oh, Miss Debbie. Yeah, they are. You know, it's so funny about the 23, 25 colors. At first, a lot of people were not thrilled with them. But the more you start using them and discovering that the wild wheat really is a fantastic gold. I mean, seriously, is that not incredible? You know, and you start going, wait a minute, these are really cool. At first, yeah, they weren't, you know, people thought maybe they were a little, oh, dull's not the right word. I can't think of the right word. Muted. A little muted, but they came out to be a favorite. So I'll be using the Stylish Shapes dies, the circles, and it's easy to forget about these. You think about the squares and that, but you have all these banner dies, and I'll be using that with this. And my dies, well, they're all on these magnet plates, magnet cards, I'm sorry, from Stampin' Storage. They're a separate company from Stampin' Up, but they have products to keep our supplies in our craft rooms organized beautifully. And so through Monday, February 17th only, you'll save 15% store-wide for their Valentine's sale. And so I have that on there, and it's also under the video that you can do that. And then I slide them into one of these storage pockets, and and then when you do put the name on there, it's what I like about this. I can flip through, you know, I can see them, but these magnets are super strong. I don't accidentally lose anything. So, and 16% or 15, sorry, 15% off store-wide for the Valentine's sale. So that's pretty fun, isn't it? All right, and so there are the QR codes. So what I need now is my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And let me put that aside. I think that's the first time I used the heat tool that it didn't hit the floor. Oh my goodness. So what I have here, okay, and here are the Thoughtful Wishes. There we go. The QR code for the Thoughtful Wishes dies. Because this does coordinate with a stamp set. There is a bundle available. I wasn't using the whole bundle. You have some intricate dies here and then some of these open dies for the images. So I would really consider the bundle as well. Very, very pretty. Okay. And let's do this. Oh, let's see, Miss Adelaide. Yeah, see, wild wheat, people, yeah, at first, like I said, until they discover it. And just sometimes it takes time to warm up to some things, and that's okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm cutting with all these thin metal dies. So instead of using plate number 1 and plate number 2, I'm going to use a magnetic platform. And I picked this up on Amazon, and that's the QR code, and it's also listed under the video. Because when I hold, do you see that when I hold it in the light? you can see all of those little circles. Those are the magnets. And so regardless if you're using this or plate number 1 and plate number 2, included with a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine where this is a separate purchase, I still need a plate number 3. Here we go. All right. I think this one feels a little bit less warped. Okay. And, oh, I forgot. There's something else I need to do before we die cut. Okay, so this is for the circle. All right, and so that rough edge, that's the side that goes down. So we will put that on there. And then this, I stamped and I'm going to, center it around it. Let me see. I think I might be missing, oh, okay, some catalog. All right. Oh, Miss Roxanne. Well, yeah, I hear you. But, a million years ago, I did Mary Kay, and they were constantly retiring your favorite lipstick color. And they'd say, well, if they like this, suggest that. So it's just part of the business. Okay, so this looks like it's going to cut it off, but it really isn't. I thought it was. I mean, it might when I do it right now, but I'll show you. It did all fit in there because it's cutting on that outside. It's making, the dots on the inside. All right, so we finished this with another plate number 3. And you notice I set it on there. You don't want to scoot it because if you scoot it on, you may just very well scoot the dies. All right, so let's do that. And then I'm going to get this out of here just for a second because I did need to prepare my gold. And see, we've got that, oh, you can't see, the stitching around it. Let's see how well I did. Oh, yes, see, and it fit in there. It looked like it wasn't going to, but it did. All right, so let's put these back where they belong because, you certainly don't want to start losing anything. All right, and then I've got brushed gold cardstock. We'll be die cutting with the Thoughtful Wishes dies. Yeah, right back in the pocket, and let me set all this aside. And it's a really intricate die. So we have a couple choices. Could use the sticky dots, but I felt the pieces were going to be big enough, thick enough that I'm going to use the adhesive sheets. Okay, so the part you peel off is the part we'll put on here. And I cut it a little bit smaller because at one time I was cutting them exactly the same size. And, I'm far from perfect. And so it was a little bit wider than my cardstock and it ended up all on my plate. I went, okay, let's not do that. So I now just go ahead and cut them a little bit smaller. And something else I've learned, don't overlap them. It makes it a little bit trickier to get off the backing after we die cut if you overlap them. So, I do get smarter with age. Thank goodness. All right. So what we've done now is turn this into a self-adhesive die cut, or it will be. Pretty cool. All right. Back with my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And this is still set up with either plate number 1 and 2 and a cutting plate. Our gold foil sheets and this gorgeous die. And of course, the cutting edge down. There we go. And another plate number 3. And the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine just does such a fantastic job die cutting. With the one we had before, I had to get a special plate and all that. This just does such a good job that the pieces just fall out. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I had this and forgot. I got so busy talking. Someone shared a tip with me to run this over before you die cut, and it helps the pieces fall out. Now, and so there's the tip that I forgot to tell you. Well, before, didn't do it. All right. So I've got my take your pick tool. Let's go ahead and just start. These pieces are all going to fall out so easily. You know what? Let's do this so it'll be easier for me to clean up. All right. So while I'm doing this, so it's Celebration. Oh my goodness. A free gift with purchase for every 60 or 120 in the US. And you know, I don't have the other countries memorized because I'm a US demo, and a lot of the things are exclusive, but then they added 11 more at the beginning of the month. So there's something for everybody, and free is always fun. And of course, orders of 150 or more will still earn Stampin' rewards. You know what? And a change is coming to that, and I need to write that up. And they had said 1st March is what they, but it looks like now it'll be April. But that's going to be really cool. Virtually everyone will be getting rewarded. So let's go ahead. Let me find a little poke out hole. I want to gently poke on this. Some of the holes, there we go. And look at that. And these probably would come off when I peel off that backing, but I'm just going to go ahead and poke them out real quickly with my Take Your Pick tool. Here we go. That's how beautiful it die cuts. It is a wonderful machine. All right. So right back on there. I just can't tell you how much I love these magnet cards. All right. And so I don't have this huge mess in front of me. Yay. All right. So we've got that. All right. All right. So we're getting our pieces all together. And this, looking at the sample, it was cut out. And paper snips are the best. Okay, Miss Debbie just used the adhesive sheets. They are wonderful. Yeah, yeah, because can you imagine trying to put adhesive on here? Another thing you can do, because sometimes when I'm designing, I don't know where I'm going, so I don't die cut everything with an adhesive sheet. But if I was designing and not knowing I definitely wanted to use it, or just get busy and not think about it, do you know our multi-purpose liquid glue? That's a cool thing too. You put that on and let it air dry, and it goes from white to translucent. And so now, because I'm a mess with liquid glue, but now it's not squirting out all over, and it has a really good hold. It's just you have to be patient, and I'm not always the most patient. Where Miss Debbie just did 15 sympathy cards, so the adhesive sheets were a godsend. Because it takes time to do every little bit of that, you know, with the multi-purpose liquid glue. Big time saver. Okay, do you think that's bothering me? Oh, not in the slightest. Okay, and so my paper snips, and very comfortable to hang on to, and I want to leave that little bit of white around. And so when you are hand trimming, it's best if you can just keep turning the paper instead of making the short little choppy cuts, because short little choppy cuts, well, look like short little choppy cuts. And so if you just keep turning it, it's really a cool thing. And while I'm messing with this, you know, tomorrow, after the video's done uploading into HD, I'll have a link to my blog post with all the measurements and a downloadable PDF that will include the card sketch. And so I will put that under the video on YouTube, or you can just go to my Stamping Smiles blog, www.stampingsmiles.com. And I don't know where that went to. I had that all set up. Let's see. There you go. www.stampingsmiles.com. Okay. And if you're not yet a subscriber to my YouTube channel, well, hit that subscribe button, because, you know, I go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, but there are other times I go live and you'll be told. All right, so, because I thought it would just, you know how to cut, because we just showed you how, I went ahead and finished that, because it's Casual Friday. It's supposed to, so here we go. Now this was interesting when I picked it up, because I was looking at the sample in the catalog, that wasn't quite doing it. I went, oh, so it's different on each side. That's stinking cool, huh? And, you know, we just use the gold foil sheets for this. Well, I have here another strip of gold foil sheets and my Stampin' Seal. So I'm going to run some down. And what's underneath me is my silicone mat. There we go. And what I like about that is if I get adhesive on there, it's just going to come right off. You know, I'm not sticking then to paper or something else. And so that's something else I picked up on Amazon. And so there you go. And let me come up here. We'll put this about right here. I think I want it over a little bit more. Let's come over more. There we go. All this gold foil is just so pretty. And I don't know why that keeps going away. There we go. That's what we want. So people can find my website. You know, a blog is a website. All right. That's just a little bit longer. So let's take my paper snips because, you know, neatness counts. There we go. And trim that. All right. And so now it's just putting it all together. And so we will start with our beautiful intricate die cut. Isn't this amazing? So now what we need to do is get that backing off. And we know, there we go. We know there's a break because we put it down in 3 separate pieces. Aha. So come up here and finish it. There we go. I don't know what I would do without my take your pick tool. It's so handy to have. I feel like there's some right here. There we go. It's where it hit. Okay. That's sticky. All right, so let's come down here. Look at that. That is just the coolest thing to have a self-adhesive die cut. And right about here, our gold on gold with the white is just stunning. So I'm pleased with that. So I'll press everywhere. And then there is a right and wrong side on here. You can see the holes are more prominent on the one side. So let's turn this upside down and then we'll use my favorite adhesive ever, which are these Stampin' Dimensionals. These foam adhesive dots just add so much. Instead of just laying that on there flat, I think 3 of these will be good. And peel off that backing. And if it ever doesn't just come up real easy like that, take your thumbnail, press down. It makes that edge pop up. It's super easy to get off. Okay. And let's see. I think, trying to see how much of this I want peeking out. That looks about just right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And some more Stampin' Seal. And this is going to go off the edge a little bit. And, you know, I love not going off the edge of our canvas, but off the edge of a layer is one of my favorite looks. I want to rotate this a little bit more. And I don't press down until I'm happy. Because if I don't press down, I'm in great shape. Now, adhering this to that, I don't want dimensionals, but I need something that's stickier because, you know, sticking to what's embossed needs something heavier. So I could use mini glue dots, but my goodness, do I ever love the Stampin' Seal Plus. It can handle the heavier, and it's just quicker than messing with mini glue dots. And about right there. Isn't that wild wheat just amazing? I mean, if you would think I had stamped it in gold. It really looks like that. And so for the finishing touch, they made their own dots with the, oh, I can't think of what they're called. Wait a minute. Oh, they're the golds. Oh, with the enamel effects, the gold. I thought I could do that, but why? When I have these amazing low profile dots. These are new this year. You know what, I think these were an online exclusives. I thought, you know, if something can make my life easier, already done for me, let's do it. And I still had all that beautiful gold color. So we've got a couple different sizes. And I'm pressing down so the adhesive sticks to the embellishment and not to the acetate sheet. And this was pretty cute. Looking at the sample, one of them was a little bit hidden by the banner. I thought, oh, I like that. Like that a lot. And here. So you could do your own with that metallics. Oh, the name already went out of my head. But like I said, this was already done for me. And low profile, they're not kidding. There's almost, look at that. Look how thin they are. So No postmaster will have trouble with these. Well, Miss Adelaide, well, thank you. Other than making a couple changes, I totally, just copied one from the catalog. But like I said, this card captivated me. Went, oh, that is gorgeous. I have got to make this and perfect for a casual Friday video with you all. And that you all visit me on Valentine's Day. You're so special. And so there we go. Super, super easy. And all those ones go with the mixed floral. That might be the ones that I think it is that go with the mixed florals, but I'd have to go look, honey, but that sounds about right. That does. Of course, we can order them by themselves, but look at this, Miss Adelaide. Yes, thank you. I sure wish I had designed it so I could sit here and, go, yes, look how special I am, but I didn't. I just made a couple changes to make life easier, I did this in gold, and then instead of making my own little ones, like, hey, these are done. But I really am crazy about these low profile dots. So the inspirational sketches, the thoughtful wishes dies, and the stylish shape dies, as well as the brushed gold cards and envelopes, all came together to make this lovely, lovely card. And like I said, 20 of the brushed gold cards and envelopes. And you see how you start off with something that pretty. You just need an accent piece or the focal point, right? I mean, it's just so beautiful. Yeah, yeah, shiny, definitely shiny. And it's cool that everything is. And the greeting not being shiny, well, it's fine. It works. Oops. Oh, all right. I must not have pressed down. I do have a habit of just placing without pressing until I make sure I'm happy, because I looked and I thought, that's crooked. And so there we go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And don't forget the Stampin' Storage 15% off sale only through Monday. And so if you'll follow my link, I'd sure appreciate that. You won't pay a penny more. If you do use my link, I'll get a tiny little commission. But hey, every little bit helps. And I appreciate that. So let's do this. It's time. Here we go. Okay, get out of instead of that right in my face, right? And there we go. And I wore red for Valentine's Day. Yep, I sure did. Oh, what happened? It was the chat. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to do that. There we go. So I can talk with you all. All right. So thank you for joining me. I had such a nice time with you. And I'm thinking I'm going to do a few more things, and I'm going to go catch an episode of a series that's coming back. And that'll be fun. And so it's that time of evening where I thank you for joining me, because I sure do appreciate it. Every time you come and then you chat and give my video the thumbs up and chat with me, because I like that. Oh, Miss Adelaide, yes, this is a card. Well, thank you, Miss Roxanne. Definitely a card. I thought everyone else is going to want to do this too, for sure, because it is so pretty. And sometimes you just miss things in the catalog, and they can get pointed out. Go, oh, wow, how did I not see that, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So it is in there, but I'll have all the measurements. So it'll be even easier now, because I'll give you all the measurements. They don't give us that. But hey, I had a nice sample to follow for sure. And boy, am I ever chatty this evening, eh? Well, thank you, Miss Debbie. And so, that time of evening where I thank you for joining me again. I'm Shelley Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. And I forgot to say, everything I just used, unless I showed you otherwise, is available to order in my online store, www.shopwithshelley.com. And get over there before celebration is over. 2 weeks, people. That is it. And that's if you're watching me live on Valentine's Day. If it's after that, it's even less than 2 weeks. So 2 weeks left to grab the free celebration gifts. So that's what I tell you. Good evening, and God bless.